Welcome back to the channel. It's me, your pal Sal, and sit on down because today we are once again letting Steam decide what I'm playing. This video actually did surprisingly well, so of course I had to run it back and do it again. For those who aren't aware of what is happening, essentially I'm going onto Steam Gauntlet, which is a pretty shady website, to essentially spin a randomized wheel that's going to pick a completely random game from Steam for me to play. Now these games could range from something that's got thousands of plays to something that no one's ever touched before in their entire lives. Some of these games have been pretty good, and some of these games are god-awful scams. We've gotten such a wide range of games within one video. I'm so excited to see what we get already. Now, I've actually pre-rolled all of the games we're going to do in this video so that we spend less time spinning the wheel and more time actually playing the game. But don't worry, I assure you they're all still very much randomized. All of the ones that I personally recommend will be put in the description down below if you want to go check them out. And if you do like this style of content, please do like and comment, and maybe I'll do a part 3 if that's something you guys really want. So without further ado, let's give Steam Gauntlet all of my data for them to sell off to companies and play some absolute dog trash asset flip games. Starting off with our first pick of the day, we're gonna dive into a little thing called Secret Mission right off the bat before we get right into it. This thing's got 2 user reviews, which is always a fantastic sign. Those types of games are either usually really good or most of the time barely a game. It's priced at $2.95, so you know, at least you're not wasting a ton of money. Also, the art for the game looks AI as fuck, so already a great sign. You know, nothing says high quality like AI slop art. The game's been in early access for 14 months, and this was promised to be finished within like 3 months to 12 months. So it's safe to say I don't think they've quite lived up to that promise, to the point where all 5 developers and even the publisher cannot be found. I tried like clicking on their link to go to their Steam profiles. They can't be found, dude. They dropped this absolute turd and just dipped. And that's all I got from just looking at the store page. So without further ado, let's jump into this dumpster fire. I'm pretty sure this is meant to be like an online shooter, but there's got 3 maps and 3 different game modes, but for some reason you can't intertwine the maps or the game modes. So if you pick a map, you're stuck with whatever predetermined game mode it's got. Also, there is no online function. There's no way to play with other people, and also no other people are playing. So even if you could, you couldn't. I don't know what it was with this first map specifically. None of the other maps had this issue, but the shadows were as dark as a pit. It was a weirdly uncanny. It just didn't look right. Also, every good FPS game, you can't aim in. Look, this worked for Halo. I don't think this is gonna work for you. This died many years ago. It's so clear walking around these maps that they're just using the Unreal Engine assets and movement code. So we actually, for the first time in this series, got a 100% guaranteed asset flip game. Nothing in this game is original. Even when pausing, you're still playing the game in the background. It just brings up the menu and you can't even interact with said menu. So you have to actually exit out of the game completely and go back into it just to change back to the main menu. It's got this extraction game mode as well, which requires getting, get this, extraction items. My god, the creativity, it cometh over. This game mode also did randomly boot me back to the menu. I guess maybe collecting all 2 extraction items was enough. Also, when I load into these maps, it briefly shows me an icon of an assault rifle, but then it switches me to the pistol, which by the way is the only gun you can get in an FPS game. Not to mention that this entire game made my PC run like a jet engine, so this was probably a crypto mining scam. Who would have guessed that a game by a bunch of AI tech bros would be devoid of any soul? This might actually be my first ever F- to the list. Usually I only go to the E's, but this really does deserve an F. With all due disrespect to the developers of this game, I know you've already turned and ran with your tail between your legs trying to cover up this mess, but for the love of God, never come back. Never even try to make a game again. Not that you really ever tried to make a game anyway. This was clearly just a scam. I'm glad that your little attempt failed, and I'm glad that you wasted your time and resources. Let's not waste too much time on these absolute scumbags and move on to our next game, which is hopefully a little better. And what might that be? We gotta get a little game called Dig Deep. Dig deep in your ass. Be digging in it. A little bit of a dig and sniff, mining for gold. The game has 121 mixed reviews. It's made by Crazy Labs, and it does, I'll be honest, it looks exactly like those mobile ad games. This was originally $7.50. I managed to get it for $1.87 because there was a sale going on. But Jesus Christ, just from looking at the ads for this game, there is no way this is worth $7. So the game's got 2 options. You can either play on your own little lonesome, or you can bring a friend into this mess. This is literally a mobile ad game. What you see is what you get. The entire purpose is that you dig the hole, you get purple orbs, you trade those for coins, then you can buy shit to get bigger stuff to mine more and you get more money. You get the gist. You can level up your digger level and even rent diggers. I don't like saying that. That feels like a hate crime. You can get gems as well that you can use at the black market for power-ups. This can range from infinite storage for a certain amount of time or boosting up your diggers to, god fucking damn it, making them work harder. Oh, don't like that. You can also buy pets as well, but only one of them without getting a DLC. Yes, there's actual DLC to this game. That's fucking insane. And of course, the same song plays for eternity. Why do so many games do this? It made me want to put my head through a window. For the current sale price of $1, this is honestly a flat C. It's good time. You can sink some minutes into this, maybe even an hour. It's a good time waster. But look, for the full price of $7.50, you can get fucked. It's a flat D. Not worth it. Look, if this is on sale, absolutely, I'd pick it up. Why not? It scratches that itch of the mobile ad games that you never actually get to play. You get to actually play this one. This is the perfect type of game to get if you and your homie have completely run out of games to play and you're both just looking for something to do for the night. Only if it's on sale. For the love of God, for $7.50, you get so many other games. Dear indie devs, please, for the love of God, put your ego aside and realize that your game most likely is not worth what you're charging. You'd make a lot more money making your game a lot cheaper. Without further ado, let's just move on to the next game. We don't have too much more to say about this one. What you see is what you get. Our next game is actually a decently popular one, Men RTS. It's got 1,100 very positive reviews, so this is a cult classic. It originally released in 2002 for the GameCube and the PlayStation 2. So I'm assuming all 1,100 of these people are a bunch of old heads. I can say that because I grew up on the original Xbox era. Fuck yeah. It's got like a toy soldiers aesthetic to it. It's super goofy and over the top. I absolutely love it. It's a real-time strategy game. I remember playing a game exactly like this, but it was an actual like third-person FPS. If anyone can remember the name of that game, it's a third-person FPS. It's a toy soldier game exactly like this. I just cannot for the love of God remember the name of it, and it's melting my mind. I need to remember this game because it was an absolute childhood staple. I'm pretty sure it's on the original Xbox. So please go to my Discord or the comments below and let me know if you actually know what this game is. Obviously, this game aged horribly, but in a charming way. Like, it feels like a time capsule. Such as like the animations being so goofy or the voice acting being so over the top.
We gotta break their line of defense and push through that yard before they know what hit them. Am I making myself clear? Sir, yes, sir!
These voice actors putting their heart and soul into this project. I absolutely love it. It's got 3 different modes, your multiplayer, campaign, and boot camp. And the entire concept of this game is basically racism. The classic green versus tans. Look, I suck at strategy games, especially real-time strategy games, so my whole plan was just to throw myself at the enemies and hope for the best. It worked. They also do have different mission types to break up the monotony, like assault or just defense. And as you progress through the missions, you slowly unlock new soldiers like the Grenadier and the Minesweeper. Also, this bulldozer guy is overwhelmingly hillbilly.
Ready to build. Need something?
This is what I mean by it's so charming. It is a very slow-paced game, so definitely not my style. Look, I have the brain capacity of an ADHD-riddled little kid, so I was never going to love this. It's boring for me, but I absolutely see the appeal for a lot of other people, and obviously this is very popular among the community. So this is going to get a very easy high B for me. If you are into real-time strategy games and you don't mind older-looking games, I would give this a try. It is pretty good. The only real-time strategy game that I've actually ever enjoyed is Halo Wars, and it's very similar to that. So, you know what? If you liked Halo Wars like me, I would give this a try. You might actually enjoy it. The humor of the game is very 90s to early 2000s. I absolutely, it's charming as fuck. What can I say? Moving on from that, we do have another little game called Moth Planet. The autism community is gonna love this one. Something about autistic people and moths. They're just like moths to a flame. It's sitting at 23 positive reviews, and I actually couldn't find a single negative review, by the way. Everyone loves this game. So I went into this with pretty high standards. It's made by Moth Fried Games. Alright, and it's sitting at $11.79, so I'm expecting something of quality here. For a price like that, there are a lot of other options. It's got a cutesy Metroidvania style going on here, and 2 different game modes, standard and speedrun. So the entire premise of this is to run around and interview other moths by snapping photos of them with your butthole. Okay. The movement is super flowy, but like, in a hard to control way, to the point of annoyance because I don't feel as if I'm in control. You can fly, which is cool. However, over time it gets really annoying. You have to keep spamming the button, which your fingers will cramp, especially if you're over the age of 18. There are some secret pathways to find throughout the levels, which is cool, I guess, for replay value. Although I personally got stuck pretty quickly because the objectives just weren't very clear and the levels aren't designed in a way that naturally leads you to where you need to go, which is extremely important in a game like this where you can get lost very easily. So I think some map revamping is probably needed, as well as making objectives clearer in general. Also, this game, I'll be honest, it's just nowhere near worth the $11 mark. Maybe if this was on a pretty big sale, I'd recommend getting it absolutely, but for where it is, I can honestly only give this a D+. If this were cheaper, I could easily see this bumping up to a C+. I come into these videos hoping to find passionate games made by passionate developers to hopefully elevate them and introduce them to a new audience. I can see that this was made by passionate developers with an actual idea in their head. Unfortunately, it just wasn't executed amazingly. And again, the price. It's always the price. Put aside your ego, especially for either your first, second, or third game. Whatever you think it's worth, halve it, and then halve it again. You are not worth, as a product or as a company, the money that you think you are. This is not coming out of a place of hatred, by the way. I have done game development before. It is hard. I understand that, but 99% of other people do not. Other than that, sorry for the little rant, we're gonna move on to the next game, which is Bird Assassin. Time jump to the future. Okay, Bird Assassin's got 247 very positive reviews. It's developed by Social Loner Studios. Aren't we all? It's only $2.95, so pretty good price. And by the first glance, it looks like a gory side-scroller shoot-'em-up. It seems actually very reminiscent of the old-school Flash games, but like in a good way. So let's just jump straight into it and hope for the best. First things first, intro scene, absolutely insane, so goofy, over the top as hell. Why does this bird have a gun? The voice acting it feels super amateurish, but like in a charming way.
Oh, why? Why were you killed?
It kind of feels like all the homies are just in the basement having a great time with this project. In a weird way, it kind of makes me feel like I'm a part of a gang. It's got a pretty wide variety of enemies such as your pigeons, your golden goose, chickens, suicide bomber chickens, bomber owls, and turkeys. There's some absolutely amazing voice lines in this game. Like, I mean, listen to this.
I think that one was a terrorist.
I don't know what it is with this episode and the hillbillies, but they're here. After every round, you can of course upgrade your items such as your weapons, a Kevlar vest, and other attachments. Occasionally, you get bonus rounds to spice up the content. Also, at some point, a bunch of chickens just stole my truck and tried to chase me down. They do just spice it up sometimes. It's a good way to keep it from getting monotonous. There's even a giant boss fight with a giant chicken. The game really does feel like an old school Flash game in the best way possible, and I would be remiss if this didn't at least get an A- from me. This I absolutely recommend. It will be in the description down below. Go check it out. For the price, this is amazing. I don't have a lot to say about this one. It's just super charming. It's got a decent amount of content, especially for the price. You can tell the developers had fun with this, and that's the biggest part about gaming. It doesn't have to be this amazing piece of art. A game should just be fun at the end of the day. And this one, boy is it fun. Moving on to our next game, we got Mad Digger. Whoa, god damn it. I can't escape it. It's got 242 mostly positive reviews, so hopefully for the best. It's developed by Berezka. I'm sorry. It's only $1.50, so by far probably the cheapest of this video. Diving straight in, let's have a look. The art direction is weirdly uncanny. It kind of feels like those fake games that kids play in movies. It's a very similar premise to something like the Flash game Diggy, but worse and 3D. The game auto digs for you, so you don't jump or anything. You just have to quickly figure out where you're going and strategize as you go, which it's not a bad thing. After every round, of course, you use your minerals to upgrade your pickaxe, oxygen, drill, etc, etc. And for God's sake, of course, this game uses copyright-free music. It's always a good sign of quality. I know making music is hard, but honestly, I'd rather the human music out of Rick and Morty than listening to this shit all over again. I did find an epic gamer move though. If you're right in the center of two blocks, you're able to break both blocks at once, something that you're not usually able to do. So yeah, that helps speed the game up quite a bit, but goddamn was it still slow and really tedious. The game really did bore me to hell and back. I couldn't play for more than like 10 minutes without wanting to burn my irises out. It's not inherently bad, it's just there's so much better out there in this specific genre that like there's no point in even picking up this game, especially when there's better versions out there for free. Are you serious? This is unfortunately gonna have to get a C-. It's not insulting, it's just kind of there, and I wouldn't bother even looking into it. I do love my digging games. I'm a bit of a, can't say that, let's just say I love digging. I love digging in it, and so it was disappointing to see that this game was trash. Well, not trash, just like Which, if anything, is kind of worse. At least if you're trash, you're gonna like, I'm gonna remember you. Not for good reasons, but I'm gonna remember you. This one, I'll forget about in like 5 minutes. Unfortunately, life goes on, and that moves us on to our next game, Life Goes On. Fuck, I'm clever. It's got 713 very positive reviews, so I'm pretty keen on this one. It's developed by Infinite Monkeys Entertainment. I love these developer names sometimes. They're great. It is $14.99, the most expensive we had so far, so I'm expecting quality. Do not be another Moth Planet. Just from the trailers and everything, it seems like a wacky 3D side-scroller parkour kind of game. It kind of does what the other game failed to do. It takes that 3D wackiness and actually makes it charming and look nice, so that's always a good start. Diving straight into it, we got a very interesting concept here. You actually use your previous dead bodies as platforms to jump off of, and sometimes you use them as weights for pressure plates to open up specific areas. The concept of actually using your death to progress yourself further is awesome. And every time you die, your name at the bottom of the screen actually changes. It's such a small but awesome detail. I absolutely love it. There's also this little furry guy around. His name's Jeff, and if you go too close, he will eat you. So beware of the little furball. Although getting eaten by this guy gives you achievements, so those achievements can give you cosmetics such as weapons and hats. And it'll automatically like mix and match the swords and hats between your soldiers to make them actually look different. Also, the difficulty is really balanced compared to a lot of these other like platformy puzzle games. There's no like massive jump in difficulty that feels super unfair or abrasive. I have to say, this is well worth the money. It is amazing. This is what I mean by if you make something sort of expensive, you have to make it interesting. Platformer puzzle games, pretty common. Using your death and your dead bodies as puzzle pieces, that's cool. That makes me want to keep the game. I'm not even into puzzle games. I hate puzzle games. This one's cool. I like this so much that I would recommend getting it even if it's not on sale. Just get it. This is going to be the first for my series, S-. We got both our first S and our first F. Of course, down in the description, go get it. It's awesome. Almost as awesome as the adventures of Mr. Bobley, our next game. At 144 mostly positive reviews, we're sitting at $2.95, another cheap one. Developed by Jan Zizka. It seems like another platformer kind of game. So let's jump right in and let's see what Bob the Builder can do. I mean, Bob. First thing I noticed, the fucking copyright music is back. Not usually an issue, but I've heard it so many times, specifically in this video, I'm starting to go fucking crazy. I don't know why all these cheap games need this exact fucking song, but I swear to God, I'll throw myself off a bridge. Also, the jump button is left control and spacebar is rolling, although rolling you can't control when you're rolling. Also, when you have to roll under barricades, it barely works. It feels like most things in this game barely work. Everything's strewn together with like a piece of lint. Not only are the controls super weird and janky, but like everything in this game is janky. Nothing in this is smooth. It feels like polish is a foreign concept to this developer. Also, the elevator controls are page up and page down. What the fuck is going on? What if the keyboard just didn't have those controls? You're fucked. Also, at some point you get to drive a car and holy shit, they somehow made driving a car the most boring experience of my life. I feel like I was actually just traversing to work. The game is full of glitches and bugs, terrible puzzles. If you fail one of these, it puts you back years of progress. That is so tedious and annoying. I don't think there was a single thing about this game that was actually fun. And to all the people that rated this positive, are you on crack or are you just bots? I can't tell anymore. Am I going crazy? Crazy or not, this is getting an E+. Go fuck yourself. I promise I'm not being pessimistic just because the last one was so good. This genuinely sucks ass. All of the comments are talking about like, oh, I played this with my kid. It's not even that bad. Shut up. There are plenty of games out there that are amazing for kids. Can we stop lowering our standards for kids games? I had a good time playing this with my kid. Fuck you and your kid. Moving on to Bingiman. Fucking Waddy Man. Got 3 user reviews and it's not looking good. Just from the trailers alone, it's looking rough, dude. Also another $2.95 game. I don't want to fuck this up. The developer is Edwin Ochieng Nyalogwa. Holy fuck, I suck. I'm not trying again. We're just winging it. Go. Cut to the game. The sensitivity in this game is sky high, and guess what? You can't change it. That's you now. The game is super grimy and gross and low quality, and I feel like that's meant to be an artistic choice, but it's not working. It just looks gross and grimy and low quality. I'm sorry. It would be fine though if it weren't for the god-awful gameplay. Like, at least it'd be playable. Unfortunately, the gameplay is the worst part of said game. Good God, is it impossible to do anything? The movement is too fast. Jumping, there's no point in jumping. Why add a jump button if I'm just gonna just go nowhere. The guns and enemies do have an actually decent variety. The enemies especially are super wacky and weird, like this weird nose thing with legs. Like, that's pretty cool. It's definitely a unique game, and I think that's a strong point for it. If it really dove headfirst into that aspect, I think this would be a lot better. The game glitched quite a lot, especially this like sound glitch that there was this constant grunting sound playing a repeat. Even when I paused the game, this thing kept going. It was driving me insane. Even my girlfriend made me actually like mute the game because she was getting fucking sick of it pretty quick. There is one positive. They did let me have a dog at some point in the game. Unfortunately, the game is just horribly made, but I did have a lot more fun with this than Bobley, so it at least gets a D-. Quite a few stinkers, but that's alright, that's alright. In order to have a great poo, you have to deal with the bad stink, alright? It's the yin and yang of the world. I'm not quite sure what that means, but we're gonna roll with it. Socrates. Moving on to our next game, Got High. This is another game with 3 user reviews, sitting at $7.50, so I'm hoping for a decent game. Although you can also get this for $16.61 in a bundle, in a mega bundle with a bunch of hentai games. Okay, interesting tactic here. It might work. This is developed by Hex Game Studios. Hex with 3 X's. I think I'm seeing a pattern here. Is this a porn game in disguise? I don't think so, because it does kind of just look like a student game, like some dev student has just whipped this up for his class project and gone, fuck it, slap some money on that bitch and roll it out. I'm kind of keen to see what happens. It looks like it could either way. It could be either really good or absolute dog water. So let's just jump in and find out, why don't we? I'm back. I got up to this part in the editing. For some reason, it's dropped down to $1.50 and the bundle no longer exists. I didn't manage to get screenshots of this beforehand, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it. I promise I'm not lying. Also, I looked at their previous games. They've made 3 in total, and the other 2 are porn games. And you're about to see, but like, they probably should have stuck to the porn games because these actually look pretty high quality. Diving headfirst into this fuckfest, it's got this Roblox looking ass main menu. Although the music kind of fucks hard. Give this a listen. Unfortunately, this will be the best part of the game because the movement is even more janky than the Bobley game. I didn't think it could get worse, but holy shit, how do you even manage to make movement this bad? I think I'd rather not be able to move at all at this point. The entire premise of this is that you have to run around and knock out 60 people while they're all simultaneously trying to kill you as well. Unfortunately, everything and everyone is glitched to the max. From your movement to attacking to the enemy's movement and attacks, everything is just fucked. The enemies are moonwalking away from me. Not to mention that everyone, including yourself, has the same movesets, so there's no actual variety at all. I'll give the game this. The punches do feel satisfying, but it's almost impossible to actually hit your enemy. The hitboxes are some of the worst I've ever seen in a game. The first time I tried to play, I got absolutely gangbanged immediately, and I was cooked. And the second time I played, I managed to like run out and actually explore a bit, but I eventually glitched out and just had to restart. It really does just kind of feel like a shitty dev student's game. It's absolutely a crime that this was once $7, and honestly, even the $1.50 mark is still too much for this trash. Unfortunately, if this game were made by one of my students, this would get an easy E, an absolute horrible game. Wouldn't even be worth it if I was paid to play it. Quite a few we've gotten the lowest of the lows and the best of the best, and this has been an interesting video so far. I don't want to spend too much time on this. It actually infuriated me a little bit. I honestly just want to move on to our next game, which is going to be Galactical Campaign. This one looks interesting. It's got 1 user review, and it's made by Geese and Black Cat. It is a somewhat pricey one, sitting at $16.95, so I'm hoping for some quality here. Just by first glance, it does seem a lot more unique than the other games that we've played so far. It seems like a political sci-fi interdimensional strategy game. And the art is, I don't want to say it's amateurish because it's not, but it's not professional. It's that in between. It's weirdly warming to my heart. I like it. It's so much better than the AI slop shit. There's something about this art style that is just, it's nice to me. It's definitely a plus. Jumping right inside of the game, you get the choice between 6 different leaders, each giving you a different benefit during your gameplay. We of course had to pick the foreskin leader. I happen to be correct, this is indeed a political based strategy game, although going into it I didn't really have that much of a clue as to what to do because I kind of skipped the entire tutorial like an absolute moron. I do this for every game and I regret it every time, and I have never learnt my lesson once. Look, I'm completely and utterly retarded. I never play these types of games in my life because I'm bad at strategy games. It's not my thing. I am not a fan. So I kind of just spent all my time doing these press conferences, and these press conferences are meant to affect every planet's spirituality, technology, defense, environment, and economy. And the entire premise of this game is to gain the trust of as many planets as you can so that you can take over this galaxy before the other leaders can. Unfortunately, this took me like an hour in to even figure out what the fuck was happening, because again, I skipped right past the tutorial. I honestly just spent most of my time doing these press conferences basking in the variety of different aliens, which there is plenty of. The alien designs are very interesting and unique, all in between every planet. Also, somehow got married at some point and made child slave soldiers, so you know, the sky is your oyster, as they probably don't say. You can also sabotage the other leaders, you know, to stop their progress. It's actually pretty in-depth. I'm just too stupid to fully grasp what the hell I'm doing. If you were into these types of games, I think you would get a lot more out of this than me. It's a great vibe. The game itself looks and feels pretty good. I like it. Unfortunately, this is not my style of game at all. I've gotten a lot of these so far today. I'm going to be completely objective for this one because I don't think my personal bias should get in the way of this game's success at all. This is a great game. It's well made. There's clearly passion behind it. The designs are great. The gameplay itself is actually pretty interesting once you know what you're doing. It does get repetitive, but I think most of these political strategy games kind of are. So if that's what you're into, I'm sure that's not really a negative. If you're into this, I'm not going to say it's like a Crusader Kings, but it's definitely pretty good. I'd give this, especially for the price that it is, at least a B+. If you're into these strategy games, 100% go pick this up right now. It's in the description. And obviously, leave these guys a nice review. Go support the devs. I mean, no one's really picked this game up, and I think it deserves at least a few downloads. Moving on to our last game of the video. I know, so sad we have to end so soon. Chronobeach Ultra. 28 mostly positive reviews. Looking good. Made by Upsilon Games for $4.50. Pretty cheap, but it is a pixel 2D side scroller. So are we gonna get quality, or is this made by some 14-year-old femboy in his mother's basement? We'll find out. The art style itself is obviously one of my favorites. I love the cutesy pixel art style. It's great every time. It also does have a time manipulation tag, which seems really interesting because I haven't seen that much at all, and I'm wondering how this is going to be implemented into the game. So without further ado, let's jump right in and let's see if this is actually pretty banging. Okay, so the movement is, it's alright. You got your double jump, your dashing, and you can bounce off your bazooka blast, which is pretty cool. The designs, however, unfortunately are very basic. They are cute, but not really anything noteworthy, which is unfortunate because usually in these types of games, the biggest selling point is the design and the uniqueness of the world. Unfortunately, everything in this is just very like, eh. The map layouts as well aren't really anything to write home about. Kind of bland and straightforward. Nothing really stand out yet with this. And unfortunately, even the boss fight is literally just a scaled up version of the basic enemies. It's extremely easy and a very underwhelming fight. Now, there are actually 4 stages to the game, so I'm sure that eventually they get harder and maybe a little more interesting. I'm hoping. But as of what I've played, it's so boring so far. The enemies do drop circuit chips that you can use to buy different weapons like ARs, boomerangs, laser swords, or even being able to change how your robot looks. Now we're getting somewhere. This is nice. There's a very nice variety of weapons to change how you play. We're going in the right direction here. The amount of content you get for the price that the game is actually really good. I'm not saying the quality of the game itself is necessarily amazing. Also, the time warping comes in after the first chapter, and it is actually really cool. You're able to stop time and fire bullets that will stay in the air aimed at wherever you were shooting, and once the time starts up again, all those bullets will fly at the enemy at the same time. It feels really satisfying to pull off, and it's honestly really cool. I love this feature, and I think this is the biggest selling point of the game. Overall, I'm going to give it a B-. Despite its shortcomings, it is a really fun game. I had a great time with it, and I honestly played it for a little longer than I thought I would. That's the end of the video. Pretty interesting little basket of games here. I don't have too much else to say, and I'm not going to try and drag this video out, so listen, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, subscribe. The last game's also going to be in the description if you want to see it. All of the games that I recommend are going to be down there, so just go click on the links, go support these guys. That's what these videos are all about. Other than that, I have nothing else to say. Alright, I've yapped for long enough. I have other videos to make. I got a list longer than Epstein's Island, so hope you guys enjoyed. Please